As an American citizen, I don't think anyone at this time and point could imagine this country taking a turn for the worse of the plague that covers the whole earth from each corner of the world, actually crippling all of every country's economy. The world is broken. America is broken. America is in a great distress. In the vice presidential debate on October 7, 2020, was to give the American people a great insight into who is a better leader for this country to heal America from Great Recession. The topics for the debate were the coronavirus pandemic, economy, climate change, Supreme Court, China, foreign policy, racism, presidential health, and secession. I just wanted to say Kamala Harris and Mike Pence did an excellent job for having a civilized debate, including the moderator Susan Page for enforcing the rules. During the debate, Kamala Harris couldn't stress enough under Donald Trump leadership, which caused the downfall of America, which affected 210,000 deaths of COVID-19, with over 7 million people having contracted this disease. Within a few months, you have over 3 million people who filed for unemployment and 1 in 5 businesses closed. Donald Trump had early knowledge of this disease in the beginning stages and did not inform the American people until things were getting worse. The first question that was given to Kamala Harris only answered the first part of the question of Joe Biden having a national strategy plan surrounding contract tracing, testing, administration, vaccines, and making it free for all. And Donald Trump do not have a plan. But she never answered the second part of the question. Would she impose new lockdowns in schools and businesses and new hotspots and a federal mandate to wear masks? If anybody know the answer, please comment down below if she ever answered that question. Mike Pence had a different question, and his rebuttal was that under Donald Trump, great leadership, he actually saved lives because he put a travel ban to and from China, which affected saving 2.2 million American lives. Also supplied proper equipment to the medical industry, which also saved lives, improved testing, and they would have a vaccine by the end of the year. But the question was, why was America's death toll higher than wealthy foreign countries, including Canada, who is our next door neighbor? Mike gave a positive response but didn't explain why America has a higher death toll. I think the death toll in America is higher because America has polluted air, which the disease attaches itself to the dirty air, probably affecting people with pre-existing conditions. A lot of people in America suffer from asthma, cancer, diabetes, and so much more, which can affect the respiratory system and organs. That is why I think. Did you hear Mike Pence when he said the scientists gave the okay for the rally at the Rose Garden, and a lot of people that attended the event, which was an outside event, caught COVID-19. This is a prime example when people who sit in high power positions and they think too highly of themselves and they think they're above of catching a disease. Nobody is above catching COVID-19, and they caught up with them. And this could also be another example that we have polluted air. Because how did they catch COVID-19 outside? Leave a comment on how you think people caught COVID-19 at the Rose Garden event. Even the president who mocked the virus even caught it. Who is the best candidate to revive the economy from this downward spiral. Kamala Harris kept emphasizing that Donald Trump is broke and he owes people money and only pays $750 in taxes. I see why Donald Trump waited so long for people to see the tax return. He didn't want nobody to know he was broke. Unemployment is on the rise and is continuing to rise, leaving people to go to food pantries and people are not able to pay their rent. I don't know if that have to do with the how the economy is going, but for what I know, people have been going to food pantries and some people are not able to pay their rent because they cannot afford to pay it because the rent is high and they have low wages. So that always been a thing. It can be an increase of more people going to food pantries and a lot of people can't pay their rent due to the pandemic. Kamala Harris claims under the cause of Donald Trump leadership, and the effect is that it left the economy in a $2 trillion deficit. Under the Biden leadership, he would strengthen the economy not by raising taxes on anyone making less than $400,000 a year, and based on raising the taxes, invested in programs that will boost the economy, such as renewable energy, infrastructure, and college education. Let's talk about college education for a second. I need more clarification. If your parents make less than $125,000, you could go to a public school university for free. So that means if I make less than $125,000, I could go to a 4-year college or a 2-year college, or is it both? She stated community college would be free, but I thought the community college was free if you qualify for the government assistance, which is Pell and TAP grants. As long as your income abide by the low income. I believe TAP and Pell should be granted to people who are in school for all 6 years. That means if you're going for your associates, which is 2 years, and your bachelor, which is 4 years, you should be able to have Pell as long as you are maintaining your average GPA that is required by the school. You should always have TAP and Pell. That's just my opinion. Kamala Harris stated that under the Trump leadership, he gave wealthy Americans large tax cuts that total $1.5 trillion, where they could go offshore to do business. Mike Pence's rebuttal was that under the Biden leadership, they will bury the economy in a $2 trillion Green New Deal. Biden will raise taxes and ban fuel and fracking. Pence believes that under Trump leadership, cutting taxes and regulations will help the economy from suffering from the weakest growth since the Great Depression and is headed towards a V-shaped recovery. What is a V-shaped recovery? A V-shaped recovery is data which is information that is telling you that the economy is growing after a decline of the economy that measures economic health, such as unemployment rates, gross domestic product GDP, and industrial production index. I don't know why Pence kept on emphasizing that a family of 4 saved $4,000. I know I'm not good in math, but I know what he was saying ain't no savings. When he kept repeating that, I was like, I wish he just stopped saying that. Because basically what my ears was hearing was that we have a broke president leaving the low income workers broke with no savings. That's all my ears heard. I ain't hear nothing else. I like, if he think that savings, I don't know what is. People in New York rent is basically $4,000 and up with an average of 4 families. And that is every month. Okay? And that's for low income people. We have come to climate change, where the world is changing and also the climate is changing. You hear about the California wildfires that's burning every day. And this happens actually every year. And then you hear about the hurricanes, which is becoming more powerful due to man-made climate change. And this has affected farmers and their crops. Mike Pence claims that under the Donald Trump administration, they have the cleanest and largest outdoor act, and they are listening to science. Pence claims under Trump leadership, they have reduced CO2 more than any other countries through innovation, through natural gas and fracking, which is documented to prove this claim. That's what he says. And he believed that they will work on set management on hurricanes. It ain't no more dangerous than 100 years ago. I said I beg to differ because, I wasn't born 100 years ago, but since I have been born, I have witnessed hurricanes, destructions. And Sandy is one that I know have came and destroyed communities in New York, ripped down houses, and washed away parks. And I've seen it with my own eyes. And as long as I've lived, I have never seen a hurricane like Hurricane Sandy. That's just my testimony to hurricanes. Also, that Biden will ban fossil fuel and fracking. Harris claims Joe will not ban fracking, and by raising taxes of people on 400,000 will create jobs. A Wall Street firm called Moody will create 7 million jobs that are about clean and renewable energy. A lot of farmers have been affected by the flood. It is written in the Word of God that it tells you you would not know the seasons. You would not know summer from winter, fall from spring. Once again, I'm going to give you a story. One day in New York, it was bright and sunny, and I was wondering why Sister Circle did not come on. And they were supposed to air a new show. And the reason they didn't come on because it was snowing in Georgia. And Little Scrappy actually did a video about how it's crazy that it's snowing in Georgia. And when it was snowing in Georgia, New York had southern weather. It was really hot that day. And I was like, they closed the TV show studio down for a little bit of snow. I like New York, get that? And we don't close nothing down. Yo, I was like, that's crazy. That was crazy. And I can give you another example. One summer, I was on a train. It was summertime. It was raining big hell in the summertime. Big hell. And if anybody was on the train, could bear witness to that. One summer, it is December, and it is Christmas, and we had 7 to 80 degrees weather on Christmas. We had absolutely no snow, but we had south weather. If that's not examples of climate change, then I don't know what is. Tell me, what are your stories of climate change that you have witnessed? And you could put that in the comment box. When it comes down to the Supreme Court and replaces the late Judge Ruth Ginsburg. God rest her soul. Pence agrees Donald Trump had the right to select the Supreme Court when the latest judge passed close to election, while Harris believed the American people should have made that choice. I agree with Donald Trump in selecting a candidate for that seat while he was in office, because he is commander-in-chief, and commander-in-chief is supposed to make that decision. If one of their employees passed away, you're supposed to fill that seat. You don't wait until somebody else is coming in behind you for them to fill that seat. But I'm in agreement with that. But a lot of people are afraid that Judge Amy Coney Barrett will overturn the Roe versus Wade. Mike Pence is pro-life. Kamala Harris claims it is a woman's choice to decide what to do with their own body, and states that Trump is in court right now trying to get rid of the Affordable Care Act, leaving the American people with pre-existing conditions with no coverage and protection to see a doctor. I too believe in abortion, but I don't believe in abortion on killing a baby at 6 months to 9 months. I believe the process should be done in its earlier stages, and I'm going to give you why. You don't know a woman's story and what came with that pregnancy. I'm going to give you an example. If you watch The Shy, the character Keisha gets kidnapped and she's held hostage by a man. And out of that kidnapping, she conceives a child. This is why I believe in abortion, because you don't know the woman's story of what came with the process. And I don't believe abortion should be a contraceptive to when you get pregnant and you continue to go to get abortions. I don't believe that at all. So this is why I stand by abortion. While during the pandemic you had people facing racial injustice where innocent black people was getting murdered. While hearing about these injustice, the American people came together, and some practiced peaceful protests, some rioting and looting because of the injustice in the world. Both candidates give their condolences to each family, which was Breonna Taylor and George Floyd. Kamala thinks that Breonna Taylor needs justice for what was done, and also George Floyd. They plan to put laws in for ban chokeholds, and they are planning to get rid of private prisons and cash bail. They will be decriminalizing marijuana, expunging records convicted of marijuana under the Biden leadership. But I said though, in the beginning, it was not Kamala Harris behind the ones who got convicted for marijuana for little charges. I'm just saying. Pence believes he trusts the justice system and believes that the jury will decide by looking at the evidence. And George Floyd, there was no excuse for what was done to him, and he deserved justice. When Mike Pence was giving his statement on the topic of social injustice, a fly flew on his head, meaning that fly disagrees with Mike Pence and what he was saying. That it is not okay to be killing unjust black people for no reason. And Mike Pence cold-heartedly stands by the police. Fly was a message to send to America. We are in terrible times, and America is stinking with racism, who think it's okay to treat one group as targets, especially minorities, and think it won't have any consequences. It is time to change and heal America. We need solutions to heal our communities where there is no division. We are accepting of each other no matter what religion, race, color, gender, or creed. Please go vote. This is a message for people that is on government assistance. And if you don't vote, don't complain about your food stamps, cash, your SSI, or housing assistance, such as Section 8, when they lower your budget. You can still vote and still have a choice not to vote for either candidate if you want to. It's called a write-in. That means you can write your choices in the empty box that says write. If you wanted to vote for Big Bird, Tupac, Biggie Smalls, Bernie Sanders, or Hillary, you can. I don't know what a write-in does and never heard of a candidate winning off a write-in. But voting do give the American people choices. Don't forget, you always have a choice.